weekly stock commentaries where I share my personal opinion and insight of what's happening on some of the stocks listed under the Philippine stock market. If you want exclusive investing related contents in the Philippine stock market, check the pinned comment. So number 1, CNPF. Following a massive magnitude. Ito yung nangyari sa Mindanao, no? Last week ata. So CNPF or Century Pacific Food temporarily suspended manufacturing operations at its tuna and coconut facilities in Jensan. Nako po, no? So lumalaban na nga sa inflation, tapos may isa pang factory na temporarily closed down. Aba, baka eto na yun ah. Eto na yung inaantay kong sell kay CNPF. Pero so far, resilient siya, no? So, the company is currently conducting thorough structural evaluations and safety inspection, blah, blah, blah. Eventually, open up din nila, okay? So, patapos na yung June or patapos na yung second quarter. So, kung may ano man dyan, no? Kung maprolong man yung close neto, mararamdaman yan sa third quarter, okay? Number 2, DNL. Namigay ng dividend and bilip ako dito no? Namigay siya ng I think in-increase niya ulit 0.236. So despite lumalaki yung leverage nito, tatas pa rin siya ng dividend niya. So 0.182, 0.054, ayan baka confident sila, di ba, na this year, despite all of these economic pressures sa Pilipinas, ganyan, baka vision nila is this year could be their turnaround year. Ayan, no? Di ba? Nag-report sila ng higher profit but declining na revenue. So, kumusta DNL? San siya? Ayun, no? So, for me, hindi pa na optimistic dyan, no? Kahit sila ng dividend. I think there's a lot of improvement na kailangan gawin ni DNL. Ngayon, kung naniniwala ka that they can sustain that kind of dividend payout, no? 6.6% na dividend yield. So, 6.6 divided by 100 times 26. So, binabayaran nila around 1.7 billion in cash dividend payout. So, a big part ng nilang reported earnings, pinapamigay na nila into dividend. Ang problema kasi is, malaki nga leverage niya. Kailangan mag-materialize yung kanyang, yung pinagmamalagay nilang Batangas plant. Na as of today, hindi ko pa nakikita. Number 3, Philippine Airlines. First time long-term issuer default rating of PBB stable. Wala, malaki utang yan, pal. Ma-airlines industry natin, so hindi pa sila nakaka-recover nung COVID lockdown. Dumagdag pa yung Middle East tension. So, parang I don't see any opportunities right now sa airline industry, and ayun naguhukay siya ng naguhukay siya ng bago niyang bottom. Fitch underscored that while the non-investment grade tier highlights structural vulnerability, blah blah blah. So yung mga ganyan kasing credit rating agency, iba-iba yan di ba? Magkakaiba yung rating, depende sa agency Number 4, RHI. Anong meron dito magde-delist na nga to. Steadily advancing its 18.4 billion privatization and ito na, voluntary delisting. So mag-tender sila sa 48, tapos namigay sila ng dividend 2 pesos. So technically parang ang tender nila is around 50 bago sila mag-exit. Na para sa akin, dapat yan I think ginawan ko yan ng video on my channel. Ay hindi pala ginawan ko siya ng post sa Facebook. I think dapat yan, mga 55 to 60 na tender offer. Based on my personal valuation model. So, sinasabi nila 32% premium over its 1-year volume weighted average. Ang problema, nag-delay siya sa time na Nagta-trade at all-time low yung kanyang stock price. So, all those shareholders na holding or still holding RHI and average price nila around 50 plus. Sorry na lang. Number 5, Alliance Select Food. Wala to. Tinitingnan ko rin to minsan pero hindi siya maganda na parang consumer staple din ata to. Immediately halted all production pipelines in Gensan due to structural damages. Pero magre-restart siya, lang, no? Temporary maintenance. So, Alliance Select, wala, pangit, no? Sabi na eh. So, food, ayun, hindi nga maganda performance niya. So, it's a struggling na business. Number 6, another story from DNL. Evo Energy. Ano kaya to, no? Broadening clean energy operations. DNL's green energy arm, may ganyan pa sila. To provide aggregated solar and ano to? Anong klaseng segment to ng DNL, no? Pero I think malit lang ata to na segment nila. So for me, not that significant na material information kay DNL. Number 7, Macro Asia. Macro Asia experienced intense trading scrutiny this week as the broader services and transport sector. Blah blah. Wala nga, nagtitipid nga mga tao eh. Sino magta-travel? Despite local inflation concerns, the company is maintaining structural support by expanding its airport ground handling and catering services. So I think mayari din to, no? Second quarter. And maganda yun kasi isa to sa mga gusto kong i-sell down, no? Kesa bumili ako ng mga airline stock, I think mas magandang play to, di ba? Pag nag-recover yung airline industry, ito yung unang magbe-benefit, and in terms of leverage, I think di siya ganoon kataas, no? So far okay yung last year nila, pero first quarter pa lang wala, no? Ano pa kaya sa no? Second quarter. So this could be the this could be the time na I think is-sell down si Mac. Maybe maghanap siya ng bago niyang bottom. Or pala, no? Bumalik siya rito, no? Ano ba to? COVID, no? Number 8, Semirara Mining and Power Corporation. Faced defensive selling pressure as the broader PSEI felt headwinds from blah blah blah. Medyo pumipitik nga ngayon yung coal price eh. May nabasa din akong headline na lumaki yung ulit, no? Yung bentahan sa spot market. So, assuming nagtino yung power segment ng SCC sa second quarter, possible nilang makapitalize yun. Okay. Ang issue lang dito again is still the coal contract bidding na I think end ata ng June or early ng July, doon ata siya i-release, no? Ano yung decision. Traders are closely monitoring the stock as a primary defensive hedge. Na possible nga, no? Crude oil still elevated and yung coal, 150. Pag yan biglang pumitik, kahit 200 lang, So pag eto pumitik, mga 200 or close to 200, tapos nakuha niya yung coal contract, I think doon siya, patatalunin. Number 9, Mega World Corporation. Despite elevated borrowing rates, dampening standard real estate development pipelines, Mega World announced it has achieved 100% full lease optimization. Yabang across 24 of its flagship commercial office and corporate towers. Well, yes, malas dinumutang to. Pero in terms of leverage, no, mas less yung leverage nito compared kay Ali. Okay. And Meg, I think nag-grow pa din siya ng Q1. So, sinasell down. So, damay-damay na. Kasi si Ali, nabasin ko ulit, sinasell down pa rin eh. Ayun. Magiging nga to. Feeling ko magiging yan, parang Meg. Babawasan siya ng premium hanggang sa magali siya kay Meg. Trading near its all-time low. Okay. The developer is pushing forward with immediate office expansion. BPO, no? May demand pa rin. I think pag na full blown yung AI, maunang tatamaan eh. Number 10, Converge ICT. Fiber broadband operator. Intense battle to solidify its position within the local index. Ano to nahanip ko na sa mga tanggalin, ano? Palitan ni SGP. Kasi why not? Tatlo silang telco dyan. Mas malaki naman di Amax, si Globe, tsaka si Tel. So, market cap nito, ayan So, I think ito yung tatanggalin. And once na tinanggal yan, sell, sell, sell. Ito na yung sinasabi ko. So, bumalik na siya, ayun no. Pag bumalik siya dito, I think mag-yield siya, around, 6%. Investors are tracking its low-cost residential prepaid broadband. Wala na kasi nagpla-flattish na to And yung ganyan kasing pricing low cost, no? Pwede rin gayahin yan nung ibang telco actually. Ayun flattish na siya dito. Ano na yan race to the bottom, yung ganyang mga telco. So, wala na nilang mag-branch out into other forms of segment. Something na talagang related sa technology. Another story, DNL na naman. So, tuki ng press release nung ngayon DNL. Advanced Batangas Manufacturing Hub registers its 6th consecutive quarter of absolute. So, ayun naman pala, naging profitable na rin para talaga yung kanilang Batangas. So, maging daw siya, the primary growth catalyst behind the parent firm's 5% year-on-year expansion in Q1 net income. We'll see, Wala naman natin sa Q2. Well, nagtaas sila ng dividend. Baka nga mag-report to ng higher profit sa Q2. Number 12, ASEN, renewable energy player. Heightened volatility as the energy sector responded to proposed changes in the National Green Energy Auction Rules and regional pricing shift. Yung bagong rules na mga favorable sa mga renewable, which is yun naman yung ginagawa ngayon ng iba't ibang bansa, gobyerno. The firm is accelerating its domestic solar and wind. So, how to do that? Siyempre, utang pa more. Ang laki ng utang nito. Grabe. Number 13, Alliance Select. Wala nga, basura nga Number 14, Pinma Energy. Core conglomerate Pinma drew investors' eyes this week as local industrial manufacturers navigate. Anong kinalaman niya dyan? The group's construction materials and educational divisions are managing raw material cost. Parang sinasabi, mayayari sila Huwag di sila gumawa ng adjustment, mayayari sila. Parang ganun yung So okay yung nila Q1. Pangit yung kanilang 2025. And we'll see kung gagawa to ng turnaround ng 2026. Uy. Basta na dividend na ito. Hindi pa natin magtatas So, ganoon pa rin 0.6 flattish. Kasi nga, may malaking inutang to May kinakapix to ngayon na magmamaterialize at some point. And number 15, of course, it's still the PSEI na story. Very weak. Di siya makangat-angat. So, PSEI, wala, Di na siya makatagos around 6,000. Siguro tatagos siya yan 6,000 pag karoon ng surprise na GDP yung Pilipinas nag-grow ng kunyari 5% ganon. Fresh military exchanges between the US and Iran in the Strait of Hormuz drove global crude oil higher. Wala na, hindi wala nangyayari talaga dyan. Magsi-ceasefire, ganyan. Wala mo nang magbabanatan, 30 days, 60 days, then eventually bigla namang titira yung isa. So there's no point na sundan yung nangyayari dyan sa Middle East. It's very unpredictable. And if I were you, sundan mo yung mga company individual performances. Mas magiging informed investor Mas maganda yung maging decision making mo, I think, kapag doon ka nag-focus.